Hey, Desiree. I'm so excited to have you here and talk with us today. So, I'd like to
There.
start off by, excuse me, hearing your stats. I think everybody likes to hear people's stats, like when your surgery was, your start rate, weight, current weight, surgery weight, all that jazz.
Okay. So I just had surgery on October 21st. So we are literally 2 weeks to the date.
Mm.
When I started the process, I was at 293 and surgery weight was 283 because I had to lose a few pounds prior to surgery. And I'm currently at 266. So I'm down about 15 pounds, 15, 16 pounds. I'm trying not to keep count. It's so hard to stay off the scale, but I'm trying to avoid it all.
So, it, there's so many rules of thought on that. On a lot of people say to weigh yourself every day
Yes.
because it's just good to see that you're gonna fluctuate a
Right.
little bit, and that way you can be super accountable early on in the beginning. Like,
Yes.
later, as you get later, definitely, like,
Be
once a
off a little
week.
bit.
Yeah, and don't get overconsumed by that scale. If you're exercising, you're gaining
Yes.
muscle, you're gaining fluid from the muscle growth and all of that stuff. So, yeah. So, and then I'd also like to talk about how did your family take it? Like, cause you are Mexican, correct?
Yes, I am.
So I'm Mexican American, first generation
Yes.
Mexican American. So how did they take it? 'Cause I'm just
My
curious, you
yeah,
know?
so my extended family always and you'll know, growing up, weight was a huge thing in our culture. It's always It's always just been a big thing. A number has always been the set number for my family. I remember being so young and working out to Jane Fonda. That's young for me. I was probably like grade school. And they were so like, we have to work out, but we're going to eat things. And I'm like, it was just this craziness that food, our whole lives revolve around food. But then it was like a weight thing. And so I was always kind of told when I was younger and everything, because I was a little bit, not, I was a thicker little girl and everything, not the skinny girl and everything. So I was always kind of told to watch your weight from a very young age. I think I almost rebelled against it because I'm like, don't tell me what to do. I've always been kind of strong headed that way. So my whole extended family, I kind of stopped telling them what I was going to do because of the pressure. It was always like, well, how much have you lost? Oh, are you still fat? You should do X, Y, and Z. Every advice was kind of turning me to where I was turning against it. So I didn't actually consult with my extended family. Now my immediate family, my husband, my two kids, I obviously let them know. And they are all on board. They were very, very like, it's your time. My kids are 18 and 20. So they were very much like, this is you. Focus on you. You've done so much for us. Just focus on you and what right, whatever makes you
Mhm.
no number, just whatever makes you happy. And so I decided I was going to do that. And so when my family found out, extended family found out a week prior, because there was a wedding. Of course, there's always a wedding. There's always a party. So there was a wedding and everybody kind of found out. And so everybody reached out to me like, why didn't you say anything? And I was very blunt with them and said, I just didn't want outside opinions. I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to be told what to do. I didn't want to,
Mhm.
you know, ridiculed or told about how your grandma's friends, neighbors, cousins did it and it didn't work, or I just didn't want to have that. So I kept kind of the negativity out of my life, just
Mhm.
focus on me, my decision, and what my family for wanted. So at least wanted for me. And that's how I just kind of came about this. So yeah, it was pressure, but kind of hiding.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Well, here's the question. So, how did your mom take it? Your mom or
Um,
your sisters?
actually, so my mom very much on board. My mom is she's the only one in my family who didn't give me that pressure. She was always like, whatever you decide, I'm not even going to question, ask. And I think because she knows I've always been a strong willed, very strong opinionated thing. So I just think that she just let me go. She was like, whatever you need, whatever you want from me, I'm there to support you. My sister is younger and we have a different relationship where we are like literally 17 years apart. So she kind of looks at me as a little bit of a mom figure, maybe. So it was very like, yes, queen, you do you. So that was the easy part. My siblings are younger than me. So that was the easy part.
Wow, my mom, I did not tell her
Oh, you
at
didn't.
all. No, I had a hernia, and so I had to go in for surgery to fix it, and then the
Mhm.
doctor they referred me to was also a bariatric surgeon. So it kind of like, was an aha moment because I'm kind of like you. I wanted to do it when my kids were little, but I didn't because I was scared,
Mhm.
and I was like, I don't does my husband's insurance pay for it?
Right.
And I didn't do it. I thought, "We'll do something else." So we did low carb. We lost a lot of weight, but it's not sustainable. It's just
No.
not. But I didn't even tell my mom. She knew I had the hernia surgery,
Wow.
but I just could not even tell her. And then afterwards, if I was over there and I couldn't you can't eat. You eat a couple
Mhm.
of bites and I'm done,
Like,
mom.
why?
That's not the norm for sissy. Like sissy can eat. And so I didn't even tell her. I don't even think she really knows really like totally yet, even now, because I don't think she'd understand. Like
Right.
he's totally against those things. And so, and my sister I told my sister, and she was totally okay with it. She
Mhm.
seemed like she was, but when my date came closer, she was like, "Are you gonna really do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's
Putting the doubt in your head. Yeah,
my date is June 10th is when my surgery was this year." And she was, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did it."
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So that's great that your mom and all of your family kind of stood behind you and didn't
Yeah.
give you a hard time. But we all hear those, "Oh, I know somebody who did it and
Yes.
they
They
gained it all
didn't
back."
work or mhm.
Or they died, or it's always the worst story ever.
Always the worst scenario.
The
Yes, they
worst
died
scena
and I'm like, it's funny. I kind of make fun of my grandma a little bit, because she's always like, I had a friend. I'm like, well, you have a lot of dead friends. Like, I don't understand why the extreme. Why? But I know I know it's out of love, and they try to get a point across to you that it is scary, and it is scary. So instead of for me, like my family, instead of just saying give me the scary issues, just let me know you're gonna be there. Let me know like, hey, I support you, whatever you need. You're seeing. It's always like I had someone that didn't work or they had complications. And I get that. I get they had complications. And I'm going to go with the mindset of it's going to work for me because my mindset is set that way. So I just was trying to reach everybody, the last minute, like, yes, I've been researching this, which is crazy. Lap band first happened a long time ago. Of course, the kids were little.
Mhm, mhm.
I kind of thought, oh, lap band. And then I thought, that's a foreign object in your body. And I couldn't wrap my mind around it. And I thought, no, that's not for me. And then gastric bypass started becoming popular. And I thought maybe that and everything. But then I started seeing the surgery and how extreme that was, and moving things and reconnecting. And I thought, well, that is scary, especially because the kids are young and you think anything can go wrong.
Mhm.
So when the sleep came out and everything, and I had a couple of friends mention it that they just had it done. Or so I just started researching and diving into it, seriously diving into it. And so then I started finding out insurances will pay for it. And so it was just kind of a mindset that I did. So I did 6 months of nutrition and counseling just to kind of get my mind like, why do I eat? What is when it's Hispanic families, we use food for every celebration.
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah.
good,
Tortillas.
let's yeah,
Yeah.
let's
There's always
celebrate.
tortillas. Yeah.
And so
Uh,
we and I you try to eat healthy and it's always it seems like, big families. So you big families, you get around each other and it's always like who's on a diet and who lost weight, who she looks good. And then you walk away, it's like, girl, what was she wearing? I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
here and I want to be healthy. I'm not looking for a number. I just want to be healthy. And so, yeah, I started researching the sleep here thing to get my mind kind of ready for it. And I finally decided this is my year. This is
Yeah.
my year. Like I was
Yeah.
at be fat at 40 and I just turned 45 on Halloween. And I'm like, enough's enough. We're
I'm
done.
done. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
tired of
done.
this shit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because now my
I'm
mindset
sick of
is
being fat. I've had it. I'm tired.
I'm literally, and you know what's funny is my weight never got in my way. I've always been a big girl deer thing. I used to be a cheerleader, and so I was always physical, and so my weight never got in my way because I think my two kids kept me busy. There are multiple sports, and we were constantly running around. I never had a time to have down, so it was just go and just do it. So I did it, but it wasn't until COVID happened that I was like sitting around in quarantine, sitting around, not really doing too much. And then I turn around to my husband, I go, I feel fat. And he laughed and he goes, well, you are. I thought, gee, babe. But he laughed with me. He goes, we all are. Like, we are fat. And I'm like, and then I started feeling uncomfortable. And so I was like, ooh, I'm not comfortable because I'm not moving around as much. I'm starting to feel it more. Back was aching. Knees are starting to crack a little bit. And I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, it was a eye opener to say,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do this. Crazy.
And so how was your surgery like when you went in for your surgery? Was that smooth sailing or did you have issues or
You know what? I actually had, God, I was so blessed. I had a great surgery. Everything went so quickly for me. Once I did my 6 months of everything, the doctor was literally like on the 28th of September, he was like, let's do it like 2 weeks from now. And I'm like, whoa. And he's like, let's do another week. I'm like, hold on. Like it was going really fast. And so when I decided on a date, on the 21st of October, I just kind of went in with a clear mind. Like I needed a couple of weeks to kind of clear a mind and say, okay, this is surgery. I think a week prior, I had a mental breakdown. And I think it was a going under was the breakdown was, what if I don't come out? I'm going to write letters to the kids. My husband's like, no, you're not. There's no letters. You will not do this. He's like, you do the same thing when you had your tubes tied. He's like, you're not going to do this. It's going to be great. You have faith. God's opened every single door. He's never gave you a roadblock. So let's just power through. And so I said, okay. Again, he's been a great support. And so I, the day of everything, I didn't even wake up. I slept beautifully that night. I didn't wake up with any nerves. I went in like nothing. And when I am nervous, I do talk. So that the girl who was having surgery next to me, I'm like, so what do you do? What do you, it was totally chatty yummy. And I'm sure she
Mhm.
was probably nervous. And so she was like, afterwards, she's like, thank you, because I am sitting here with a ball of nerves. And I'm like, cool, because I'm trying to talk my way out of them. But
Oh, I
everything was
got it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it went good.
afterwards was good. And yeah, everything was really, really good. I woke up, I think they were saying like statistically, people who have this surgery kind of wake up with regret immediately because your body's kind of in a shock. I didn't wake up that way. I woke up excited and I was like, hey, they told me to sit, 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 walk, walk, walk. And so that's what I did. I popped out of bed. I'm like, let's walk. Let's do this. I'm ready. So,
Oh, that's so
but
good. So you had your husband there and he supported you and stayed with you at the
yes,
hospital?
absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah, it was good. He didn't stay with me in the hospital or anything. They didn't allow it because of COVID, but he was there as much as he possibly can. They gave us the visiting hours and everything, but he was there like about a good 80% of the time. And actually at night, your thing was nice to kind of have a me time to sleep and kind of think about like what just happened and so it was kind of nice. I actually been vlogging my on Instagram and everything. I've been putting on my story and everything, and just kind of it's helping me just to talk about it and just make myself feel a little bit normal and like everything's okay and everything's good. So
yeah.
I've been a blessing.
And then, so how is your husband gonna deal now pretty much? Because my husband's like your husband. He's always at my heaviest. You're beautiful. He still did the same sexual positions, whether I was really at my highest or
Yep.
I'm now. So, I mean, for him, it didn't change because he's always, you're beautiful, you're
Right.
beautiful. So, how is your husband going to, take it? I'm curious when the weight starts coming off and like, was that going to change maybe? Yeah.
Right.
What's
For
his
a couple
mentality?
when I started talking about this, like, a couple of years ago, and I'm just saying, "I'm gonna do this through thing, and I think I'm gonna do it," and he's always been that husband who was like he married me probably at 200, and then I was, like, 205 months pregnant, so he married a big girl. So he would always kinda, like, say little things like, "I married a big girl, and if I wanted a skinny girl, I would have married a skinny girl." And so I just kinda, like, would laugh off. And so he would make little jokes, like or he would see a woman, and he would like, "Okay, that's too skinny." Like, you're not gonna get that gap right." Like, so he would say little things and stuff, and so when I finally got on board with my own mind, and I said, "I'm gonna do this." And so it was I I'm nervous because I did marry you. He's like, and I think, to be completely honest, I think his nervousness comes with, "God, he has such a great personality, and I think that you're sexy and beautiful, and you're so, like, bubbly, and so you lose the weight." He thinks more people might be attracted. So it's kind of intimidating. So and I'm glad that he was honest with that. And so he goes, "It just makes me nervous." And I said, "Okay, well, still the same person. I'm still the."
Yeah, but I can totally see you getting really tiny because you were a cheerleader for 10 years, you were
Yeah,
athletic, and you may just slip back into that role and love your new body and
right,
exercising and
right.
moving, running, whatever it is you're gonna do. So, I mean, I could totally see you going back to that. And so,
Yeah,
kind of curious and
yeah.
you
So I told Ruthie, I'm like, with me. Like, what are you waiting for? Do you want me and actually he's a big guy in your thing, but he's more muscle. I think the only thing big on him is his stomach. But he's a muscly man, you're seeing. So I told him, "Do it with me. I don't understand. Like, I'm still as long as you're partnering with me, there's no parting away from each other. There's just if you give me the support that I absolutely need and see us more powerful than anything else." And so he's like, "Okay." So we kind of laugh at her, and he'll just say, "Just no gap. I'm not looking for a gap." And I'm like, "I'm not looking for a gap. I'm looking for healthy. I'm not looking for no gap between the legs. I'm not looking for a size 6 jeans. I'm not looking for
you just
I'm
wanna
looking
be
for."
healthy, just wanna be
Yeah,
healthy and you wanna
absolutely.
live li
Yeah.
I mean, now that your kids are grown and
Yeah.
they're gone or just fixing to leave, it's
Mhm.
just now it's your time,
Yes.
and so I could totally yeah, so, how are you gonna do on food? Because you're 2 weeks post-op, right? So
Yes.
you're still not eating yet because you said you ate
So they
something
just yeah, they just told me in your thing today to introduce myself to eggs, soft scrambled eggs. Um,
scrambled, okay.
which so I did this morning, and it's so cute because they're like, "Make yourself like 4 ounces of your thing and put everything away and just focus on eating. It'll take time and everything." So I probably ate an ounce. My body is just not.
It's like, "No,
No, it's foreign. It's
no, girl."
crazy because I was literally struggling with the protein shakes, like Premier Proteins, I still can't drink because they're too thick. So I have to water them or I have to get protein powder or so I try to introduce the egg and I'm sitting there like, "Yay," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. It might take me a little bit longer to introduce."
I can't eat egg. I have a really hard time with it's weird how you ate all these things before
Mhm.
surgery, and then you have surgery, and then it's like you hear a lot of people say, "Well, I can't eat meat now, so I'm a vegan,"
Right.
or "I can't do dairy now, so
Mhm.
I stay away from dairy," or all kinds of things, and so it's just weird how that kind of works out, but I'm pretty sure it just kind of brings what was already there,
Right.
any sensitivities to food to the surface, and so now we actually, like, can stop and actually listen to our body. Say, "Hey,
Yeah.
eggs make my stomach hurt. Eggs make me bloated," or whatever, whatever, and
Mhm.
so I think that's weird how that kinda works out. So definitely listen to your body, but I'll tell you one protein shake that I love, and it is called Fairlife. Have you tried Fairlife?
Everybody was telling I gotta try
Girl,
this.
I'm lactose
I think
intolerant.
our
Mhm.
Costco just got it, and so when I got the Premier Protein, of course, I got the different flavors and cases, and I got the loose powder, and then I think when I just a week prior, I saw the Fairlife there, but I wasn't sure if it was Fairlife. Maybe it was the protein drink or just the milk. So I saw it, then I was like, "Oh, I gotta look for this thing." But everybody's telling me Fairlife, and so I'm my goal today is to go because I need
Yeah.
some. I need
You know
something.
what, girl? I cannot have dairy, so it's lactose free, but you can't
So
tell, right? You
right.
can't tell it's dairy free, but it is the vanilla tastes like cake icing.
Oh,
I kid you not. It is so damn good. It is good. Throw you
well,
in some instant coffee, pop it in the microwave,
right.
boom, and you
Nice.
have a Proffee, and it's like a dream. The caramel is great if you love caramel, but I just stick to the
Okay.
vanilla. And they just came
Okay.
out with a coffee. They have a chocolate, of course, a chocolate,
Okay.
which tastes just like that Yoo-hoo or that chocolate or
Okay.
Yahoo or, the chocolate drink,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. The Yahoo.
Nesquik or whatever. It tastes like a regular chocolate
I'm gonna
chocolate
have to try your
chocolate
thing
milk.
because
Um,
I tried the protein waters, and it's funny how they leave like a film in my mouth. They leave like this film,
yeah,
and I think it's because yes, your taste buds are just completely different. It's almost like I can taste the artificialness in
yeah,
it, and
yeah.
I'm I don't know. I try to soak those down, and well, my husband's like, "Why did you buy so many?" I go, "I don't know. I just try to prepare myself with a variety, and
Mhm.
I knew I was in it."
Your stomach,
So
it
just
changes. So, yeah, so I think one of the best advice I can give you is keep it simple. I think we go crazy, and I did too, girl. I had my house stacked, piled
yes,
up with shit. Like, I bought everything,
yep,
all the things. But, I think we don't go crazy with buying a ton of stuff because you kinda wanna try it to see how is this gonna work, or how is it, or those
right,
fancy water bottles that light up or make a noise or
yep,
colorful shit, whatever, all those things. You'll go crazy buying all that stuff. So when
yes,
you find a protein shake that you like, just stick to that one. If your pouch likes it, just stick to that one.
right.
And also there's another one called Gen Pro. I I was okay with it a couple weeks after surgery, but like when I was like a month or two out, then it kind of gave me which is like a grossed out feeling, like,
Yeah,
so I can't use that one, but that that one is called Gen Pro, and it saved my
okay,
life the first month after surgery because the serving size is like a tablespoon. Like, I mean, I don't know what it has, a little cup in there, and it's like a tablespoon, maybe a little more, and it's 30 grams of protein. So, which is nothing, and
right,
you can put it in your soup, stir it up, and boom, you can't I couldn't taste it right after surgery, and you're getting in your protein
good.
without even trying. So,
Yeah,
you
okay,
may look
that's
into
something I
that
wanna
one.
look into, yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
something, yeah. It's
That
just
one may be okay for you. It worked fine for me for, like, the first month or 2, and then it
right,
kinda I just I'm good. I think I'm fine. So, haven't bought any more, but you may wanna try that one. Definitely get Fairlife, but you'll love it. I have not met anybody that has said they can't stand Fairlife. Like, it tastes like regular.
I keep on hearing it's funny because I keep on hearing that more and more. Have our nutrition class, it's like it wasn't mentioned at all. So I was like, "Wait, is it something newer? Is it something like,
Well,
what
they
is it?"
don't mention it at the thing because I told my dietitian too when we were at a
Mhm,
meeting that I had bought Fairlife, and she said, "Well, Fairlife is way more expensive. So if
okay,
you can do the ones that you have."
then
Oh gosh, what do you call those? What are
Premier
they called?
Protein.
Premier Proteins, or
Mm,
one of the cheaper versions, then get away using those.
yeah,
But, if you can't get your protein down and you need to get it because if you don't get your protein, you're gonna get sick. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're gonna feel
Mhm.
like shit. If I don't get enough
And that's what's
protein.
funny. I struggled
Uh-huh.
the first to get 60 grams.
Mhm.
60 seemed like so much. I struggle. I did 40 grams around 3 or 4 days, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. And then I finally hit that 60, but I had to stay up to like 10 o'clock at night to get it. And my husband's like, "You're gonna stay up, you're gonna get it." He kept on telling me, "You're gonna lose your hair. Your body's craving this thing." I'm like, I feel and that was the thing. I felt amazing. I felt energy. I've never felt down these last 2 days though. Like I have a tendency to want to take a nap. And so we kind of like joke, like, oh, because your body hasn't had food and for 2 weeks or anything. But I just kind of had that tendency. I'm like, well, and I only take 20-minute naps. So it's like sleep for 20 minutes and then I'm good. But other than that, I haven't been pushing myself to the 60. So now I'm on the 60 grams. So now it's try to drink more water with that.
Yeah.
I
Water's
said the
tough.
A, yeah, it's every stuff. And I surprisingly, I did not do any pain medications. I came home with Vicodin and the muscle relaxer. I didn't take any Vicodin. I didn't take any of that. I didn't have that much pain to do all that. All that, that was more scary to me than the actual physical pain that I was going to actually go through. I did wake up with like back pain because I had to sleep upright for like a few days. So I woke up with back pain because I just couldn't get in a comfortable position. And it's funny because I told my husband, go give me children's liquid Tylenol. And so he goes to Walgreens and gets it. And all of a sudden I realized, oh my gosh, how many things am I going to have to sip for like 500 milligrams? Because they were only like 160. And then I started freaking out. And then so I was like, okay, I can't even sip water right now. So then the next day I Amazoned like liquid Tylenol, 500 milligrams, and I took it. It tastes to me, and I drink. It tastes to me like pure alcohol. I know that it was cherry flavor, but there was no cherry flavor. And I was like, there's no cherry flavor. It burns all the way down. And I was miserable not doing that again. So it's funny how your taste buds are just like trial and error. Everything goes in your mouth. Either you're going to love it or you're not going to love it. It's crazy. There's one day that I actually took a drink. I don't, I'm, I guess I think I had family over. I took a drink and I didn't realize that I had this surgery. I was like mindless and I took a big gulp. And I thought I was gonna die. I just thought, "Oh, here it goes. This is it. This is what they've been talking about. I'm gonna now just die. I'm gonna burst." And I walked around for 2.5 hours, miserable,
Yeah.
miserable.
Yeah. There's
Right.
those rare moments where, and I think we all get them, where we forget we even had surgery. Like, we're just
Yeah.
living our life. We're out doing
Mhm.
something. We're at a park or at an event or
Yeah.
something, and we forget, and then we just take a chug, and then we're like, "Oh, and then you quickly are like, "Oh, damn. What did I
I
do?"
tell you,
Yeah.
literally, it's almost instant your thing. It was funny because for my birthday, and I love to host. It's my birthday. I did a brunch here, and so and you were like, "Why would you do that to yourself?" And I'm like, "Listen, I'm not hungry, so there's no temptation. I'm not hungry, so I can do brunch." So I did this big brunch thing at my house and had my siblings over, and that's what I was just sitting there saying. I decided you're talking, you're laughing, you don't remember everything. Everybody's drinking mimosas. And so I'm like, oh, I'll drink my little protein drink. And yeah, went down way too quickly. And I was like, oh, and they're laughing because I'm pacing the backyard, just circling the backyard. They're like, are you good? And I'm like, I'll be good. Just let me just burp a little bit. And I laugh because I would refer myself out to a baby, like a baby stomach. I'm going to drink 2 ounces. I'm going to burp. And then I get tired afterwards. And it's just that newborn feeling that you're just so we're laughing because my sister-in-law's pregnant. I go, this is what baby's gonna feel like. And now I know what she's gonna feel like. She's gonna feel like when she has gas, she needs to be burped. I'm gonna know that feeling. It's also new to me.
Yeah, I've never burped and farted and shit my pants more than I have since this surgery, because I had the
It's funny because
gastric surgery.
I am not I am not like a farter. Like that's not I literally I'm like those one people who just go to the restroom and just sit there and I'm like, okay, probably politely fart. And then my husband like rarely ever hears me fart or anything. And now I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not getting up one more time. I'm done. And so he's like, look at you letting it loose. I'm like, if I don't, I feel like I'm going to burst. I'm just, I'm just sorry. And then so he just like, nope. And so we'll joke your thing if I fart or burp. And he's like, I'm sexy. I'm like, yep, that's what I am. Just being sexy. So
Yeah,
gotta,
it's impossible to like, it's all the time. It's every time you put
Mhm.
anything in your mouth. It's so disgusting, the things that you kinda put up with, but I was gonna tell you earlier, one thing my dietitian told me, and I thought this was the best advice because it gets so complicated, like, you were talking about the protein waters. I tell you, I bought everything I could find. The waters with collagen in them, with protein in them, with all this shit, and they all tasted gross. I never could drink any of them. The only thing I can do is put the little collagen, the Vital Protein collagen,
yep.
like, I can put a little scoop in my coffee in the morning and get some collagen in, but they taste gross, and they got so
Yeah.
many there's so much stuff out there, and there's so many additives and
Yes.
all these things, so just don't it's easy to get consumed by everybody saying, "Try this, try this, try this," or
Yeah.
"This worked for me," or "This worked for me." But yeah,
Right.
don't you'll go crazy with all of
Yeah.
it. But my dietitian in the beginning, like where you're at, she told me because I'm not gonna write every damn thing down. Like, I'm just not I have a hard time with tracking my food, right? But
Mhm.
it's important to have some kind of system, and she told me, and this is what you can do, just get a piece of paper,
Mhm.
right? The only things you need to track right now is, say you put water, what you drink, and how many ounces. And Fairlife, it's like 11.5 ounces, I think, a little bottle.
Mhm.
Put that down. I had this, what it is and how many ounces you have, and at the end of
Yeah.
the day, just track how many ounces of fluids you have and how much the protein that you had, and that's the only 2 things you need to be tracking right now. Not carbs, not macros, not
Right.
fat. I mean, you're not supposed to be eating a bite of burger or some
Yeah.
crazy things. You can't eat that stuff right now. So just focus on your water and focus on your protein and just stay alive. I think when I was 2
Right.
weeks out, I felt like I was dying, like slowly starving. I was like, I'm dying.
Right. Oh.
I can't believe I felt like
Oh.
I was dying. Like I was slowly starving because
Oh, wow.
your best friend is gone. Like
Yeah.
food
Yes.
is totally taken out of the equation, gone. She's
Yeah.
gone. And so you don't have that to fall back on. And so it's like, the fuck? What do I do with
What to do?
myself? Like, and food is just so now food is still there because we eat and we drink and all these things, but it is more for survival of just what we need to get in our protein, our water, our fluids to sustain us for the day. And so, yeah, that's crazy how that works. But so I had
She's
another question.
uh
What diets have you tried? Because you said you've tried a bunch of diets. I wanted to hear,
Yeah.
did you ever try MetaFast?
No, I've never tried I don't think that it was as popular. I'm from California and I now live in Las Vegas surfing. So I don't think it was as popular in California. Not that I heard of. I remember my first diet. My first diet. Oh my gosh. My grandma taking me to some doctor's office, random, like not in a hospital setting, like a literal office nursing. And there was all these women you're seeing, and he literally just weighed you and was like, "Yep, you're fat," and then gave us pills. I'm pretty sure those pills were fentanyl. That's how long ago that I believe I was just 18, maybe 19. 2 days later, I landed in a hospital because I had the shortness of breath, tingling of the legs. It was just way too strong for me. And so I've done diet pills, and then Nutrisystem was one that my husband, no, my husband and I tried. don't think he liked like after like a week, he didn't like it. I tried Nutrisystem. And of course I lost the 40 pounds within like 2 months because yes, it comes off once you change that package eating, which God, it has to be so bad for you. Like just that all that processed food, which I didn't think about then, but it was so bad and everything. I've done the Atkins when it first came out. I've
Low
done
carb, keto, I'm sure you did
yes.
those. Yeah, we've all
Yes.
tried those, yeah.
Yeah. And of course you lose the weight, but then you eat a carb and then there goes your pounds back. I've done Whole 30. That was actually pretty good for me. It was just I was the only one doing it in my family. So it was like I was making their meals and then my meals. And then after like 4 months, I was like, that's enough. I can't be making. I'm not sure or to cook. I can't be, and I love to cook. My husband, that's the thing too, guys. My husband and I both cook very well.
Mhm. Well,
And that's
I bet y'all
part.
make
y-
some noodle and some good shit, man.
it's funnier thing because he's from Belize. So it's kind of nicer thing that we have this cultural thing going. And we even cook healthy food good. I mean, right now he's doing, I think since COVID has been here, he's doing plant-based and that works out for him. Not as far as losing weight, but because he is diabetic. And so his numbers are amazing. So if that works for him, that works for him. I tried plant-based for a while. I didn't lose any weight, just felt really good. But yeah, I've done them I've done Weight Watchers, the number system, done them. And I've even done, what's that one diet that I can't, ideal protein. No, is ideal protein? Ideal, maybe protein. It's kind of like the same as like maybe a Nutrisystem, but it's like you packets of food. But it's like once you get off those packets of food, then you start
Mm, yeah,
thinking that you're cooking real, but you're not. You're not learning anything. So of course went right back to
mhm. Man,
putting down
so how
more
does
weight.
that feel to know that you don't have to do those stupid things again, all those diets and all those that it's finally over? Like,
Yeah.
all of that phentermine is, like, one of the worst things. I wouldn't recommend anybody, especially post-bariatric, I wouldn't take
Yeah.
even, like, pre-workout stuff. I don't take
No, no.
I can't take
Uh-uh.
caffeine now. I can't drink if I go to Starbucks and get, like, the Doppio espresso shots, I
Mhm.
get caffeinated. I mean, it still has a little bit in there, but it's not definitely not a
As much,
regular
yeah.
caffeinated, but, yeah, I wouldn't take any of those things, but, man, there's such a freedom knowing that we never have to do that again, and can
Yeah.
you imagine all the money you spent on all of that shit, and it just I mean, you're just going around the round and round,
Yeah.
just
Following every trend, following every it's crazy. And it's kind of like I said, my husband and I both we both gosh, we both cook very, very, very well. And so it's kind of exciting to like for me have this new sense of like me cooking different. I'm gonna be and he's already doing plant-based and everything. So he already has like all the natural stuff all here, and everything, all the good oils and stuff here. And so I'm kind of excited to kind of go through that. But I was telling my husband, I just don't want to be fixated either because like I said, food can just be it could consume us. Because we love cooking, we love entertaining, we love doing that. So, and I think it was for my birthday, he's laughing, he goes, "Well, we can't do anything." And I go, "That's sad. That's sad that we revolved our whole lives around food. Like, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing in the world we can do besides eat something. That's kind of crazy to think. Like, think what we just said, your thing." And he kind of like, it took him back. And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Let's find other activities. Like, we need to go on walks, hikes, somewhere. We live in Las Vegas, so it's like not too far from California. Let's go to the beach. Let's make a trip out of something. Let's just utilize our time."
yeah,
So,
that's
but it is
so
exciting
cool.
your thing to like have another relationship with food. And then hopefully I'm just kind of hoping that my husband gets to experience it with me as far as like not dieting, but just as far as like embracing it with me or, as far as like support me. I can't eat as much. Support me. Don't think like, oh, you're not
Well,
eating.
yeah, and so now, your whole relationship with food is non-existence. The only reason you eat it now me, I'm almost 5 months out, is for fuel. And so I know this is how much protein I need. I need fluids. I always have a drink with me. It's like, so it's not even any enjoyment yet. Maybe
Right.
once we're like a year out and we actually
Yeah.
can actually eat vegetables again. Like I barely have room to get in what I have to get in. It's like
Right.
it if I
Than
make
anything else.
dinner, I don't even get to eat the sides because I'm like, I need to get my protein in first, and then
Mhm.
I'll leave it there. And my husband laughs because I leave my plate there, and I'm like, "Just leave it, I'll come back later." And I'll wait 30, 40 minutes and then go back and get another couple bites. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's so hard. I can't imagine. But so how are you gonna do okay, so it's just you and your husband in the home?
No, 4 of us. So it's my son and my daughter. So 20
Okay.
and 18.
So have you gone through the pantry and cleaned all the crap out? Like, everything's
Actually, not as much nursing. I mean, kids it's funny, we went to Walmart yesterday to get, like, a few things. I forgot where I needed some broth, and so it's funny because I actually I was so proud. I made my own bone broth. I was so excited. I can't even drink that. Oh, it's too fatty. I tried to strain it 18,000 times, and I just can't get it as good as the box ones in the store. So I'm like, "Okay, that's it." So I went to go get some more broth and everything yesterday, and my daughter and everything goes, I need to get food for me." And I'm like, "That's you and your bill. You go ahead, your thing." So she got herself popcorn and mac and
all her
cheese. And
stuff, yeah.
I'm like, "That's now your expense. Like, I'm not gonna do it your thing, and I'm giving you guys real food in the house. If you guys." So there's not a I didn't get to clean out a whole bunch of thing. They still eat and they're younger. They still eat, things here and there. But and my husband has, like I said, he's based, so he has a bunch of good things in there. I just don't look at it anymore. I don't have the temptation to look and
Oh,
say
that's
like,
good. See, I'm the
yeah, I
opposite.
just don't.
I had to clean everything. Like,
Okay.
I cleaned out I don't want nothing in the house because it's just me and my husband in the house.
Oh, okay. I was
So
like, there's no
so I don't want nothing in the house that because if I see it,
kids have jail.
I'm gonna eat it. Like, I
Yeah.
can't and then so when I cook for me, for bariatric. Like,
Yeah.
the other day, I made tortilla soup, and so my husband will eat it, and it works for my meal plan, and it works for
And
him. So I definitely whenever you cook or your husband cooks, he can do plant-based, but also throw in some chicken, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And how you can
yeah.
have some chicken
Yeah.
pieces or
Yeah.
some fish. No, I mean, there's no way of knowing what you're gonna be able to eat until you start trying to put stuff back
Yeah.
in. Once you're far enough out that your dietitian says that you can go ahead and
Yeah.
introduce solid foods, which will be a while from now. It it's gonna it's gonna take a
Yeah.
minute to get there.
I can imagine with that egg. So I'm like, okay. And it's I still my husband yelled at me. It was funny. I think the first week or everything I made the kids because the kids were like, I want something to eat. And they were eating a bunch of junk or things. So I made enchiladas and everything. And so they're at no temptation. I'm like, no, actually. And I think because I couldn't eat, right now, I physically can't. So there wasn't any temptation. So it's funny because they're standing by the stove by me. And I'm like, taste this broth, taste this. Oh, and it's funny. I made Spanish rice and I put El Pato, I think, in it and you're seeing it. So I taste the broth to see, make sure the rice was, and it was funny because I out of habit, taste the broth. And when it went down, it was spicy. And I was like, what am I doing right now? Like it was such a habit. And
Yeah.
my daughter looks at me and I go, oh, that's going to burn all the way down your thing. When I sat there and I breathed and I'm like, hey, chased it with a little water and everything. And then I'm like, okay, that didn't go down too bad and everything. But little things out of habit and everything I'll do. But cooking and stuff, I think is like my little love language or thing, so, like, it doesn't bother me. Last night, I made barbecue chicken and mashed potatoes and thing, but it didn't have the notion to be like, "Oh, let me just try it," or let me just I'm my stomach's not there yet, so I think it's still okay right now. But
Mhm.
yeah, we'll see how that and my kids know how to cook, so it's kinda like, "Well, we want mom's style," so they'll do it with me or kinda, like, help me out and everything. I'm like, "I don't have a problem right now. When it starts to be a problem, I will definitely let y'all know." Like, I'll let you know, like, "Nope, cook yourself."
Yeah, no, I
You know?
can't I can't. we have 4 boys, and so nobody cooks. I mean, I wouldn't wanna
You're
eat
on
their
your
food.
own.
They're gonna if they cook. I mean, my husband, well, he cooks really good. He cooks healthy foods and stuff, but my kids, no. If they're gonna cook, it's gonna be junk. I couldn't eat what
Yeah.
they make. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I had to clean out the whole pantry and, clean it all out and, like, totally reorganize and, like,
Yeah.
trying to eat. It's tough. It's
Like
still tough.
your morning, you're in that morning mode and everything where you just want to like get rid of whatever was toxic in your life. And that's why I think your thing, the 6 months of counseling kind of helped me out with that. Just kind of, and it's funny because every year we do vision boards. And so on my vision board had like a bunch of fruits and vegetables and everything. And it was like reminding myself, I'm going to eat to live and not live to eat. It's like I had that kind of mind frame. You can tell yourself that you're thinking, but I just think working out all the issues of the emotions and the stress that I do do can't relate anymore to food. Like it can't. I'm putting my body now just in risk. So
Yeah, I liked your last sentence in your post there that you wrote me, and you said, "This year, I am choosing me." And I'd love to hear stories of people who are like 26
ooh,
and they have little bitty kids.
yes.
I wish I would have done that. Do you know how many times we went to all these vacations and I didn't get in the water because I was self-conscious and I was embarrassed and I had body dysmorphia and I just didn't wanna get in the water, and I couldn't do things because of my weight. Not
Wait.
even the weight wasn't stopping me, it was the body dysmorphia and being
Right.
happy in my own skin. And so,
Hmm.
yeah, so you've done your job, raised your kids. This
Yeah.
is your year for you to have your
Yeah.
self-care, take care of yourself. So I think that's really great that you wrote that.
Yeah. And it's crazy. I was telling my husband, I don't think this would have worked 5 years ago. I don't know if it would have. I don't think it would have worked 10 years ago because my mind wasn't there. And the busyness and the girl that had surgery next to me, she has, I think it was like a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. And I thought, wow, wow. Okay. Maybe that's the age before sports. I mean, I just thought my life, there's no way I could have done it. But yeah, I just choosing me. And I always say, here, I'm going to be selfish in a healthy way. And I told my husband, I'm going to be selfish. I want to choose me. And it's funny when you say about the vacations, I had body dysmorphia almost the opposite way. I didn't know how sad I was until like a picture came out. I'm the one who jumps in front of the camera and I'm like, yes, take a picture of me. I want to be all about it. And I'm like, "Todd, what a bad angle." Like I would never acknowledge that I was fat. And I'm like, what is going on with these vacation pictures? It's like, oh, let's not print that one because I look fat. And my husband has never ever called me fat. And I think it was maybe 6 years ago I had said like, "Oh God, I'm fat." And he's like, "You are." He's like, "We are fat." And so it took me back. Like he's never called me outside my name. He's never. And so it took me back and I was like, "Who are you talking to?" He goes, "Babe, like we," and he was like, "I'm just saying we because we are both fat." And I'm like, "Ew, who are you?" And then I just kind of like reality, I have to be okay with saying it. I have to be okay because if I'm not okay, then I'm denying the person that I am. And so, and I used to, little funny story. My kids, and I'm a vain person, just so crazy. I'm a vain person as far as like, I always wanted my kids to know no matter what size, age, or what you look like, be confident who you are. It's what God gave us. We're not going to go change anything. It's what He gave us, their thing. So work with it. As long as you feel good about yourself, hold yourself high, you will you will be perfectly fine. And so I used to get ready in the morning when we would get ready when they were like in junior high and high school. And I'd be getting ready and I'm like, you know what, you guys, I'm sorry. I apologize it must be hard to be my son, your thing. It must be harder for me to be your mom, your thing. They're like, why? And I would say, because having this sexy of a mom, it just must be hard for you. And they're like, what the and I'm like, sorry, like I've always wanted to know that no matter what size I was, what mood I was, I always have confidence in who I am. So my body dysmorphia kind of flipped opposite of me. I went into the water. I wore that bathing suit, but then it wasn't until I saw the pictures afterwards that I was like, oh, huh, that's not a flattering angle, or that's not a flattering, So it made me look a couple times, and then I would think, okay, do something, do something.
So here's a question. How tall are you? I'm curious. We didn't get your height.
So I'm 5'6".
Oh, you're
And
tall. See, I thought you were gonna
I'm
say
fine.
you're
Yeah,
5 foot, like like I'm 4'11", so
no,
I was like, I bet she's tiny and short like me.
no,
No,
I'm
she's
five
5'6".
six. I'm 5'6" or thing. So it's funny because I used to always, growing up, everything, I used to always say like, oh, I'm 5'9", and someone was like, no, you're not. And then I went to the doctor. I think when I first had the kids and I was 5'7", I'm like, okay. And then for some reason, when I went to surgery, it's like I went to 5'6". I'm like, am I shrinking? Do you just get shorter and fatter? I don't understand what is going on. So yes, I went at I'm 5'6".
Yeah.
But
So what is your weight that you would like to get to? Like, how much weight would you like to lose in total? My goal weight was 138, somewhere around there. So like 10 more pounds, I'd be happy. But my doctor said by then I'll have skin to get
yes,
removed or whatever. So I'm definitely a slow loser, which is good because my skin is having time to acclimate, to all
right,
the
right,
weight loss, which is really great. But so it's really not about the number, it's about the body positivity. You know what I mean? Because it
right,
doesn't
right,
matter what size you are. If you are happy and happy with your body and you're higher than what you thought you would be, but you're like, "Man, I'm wearing size 8. I'm really happy. I'm done.
yeah,
I'm content." And that's okay too. So, but
right.
it's so curious to see when you start, what is your goal number?
What you're yeah.
Yeah.
It's because I think I keep on going down every and my husband will, like, look at me like, "That's not what we talked about." I kept on saying, like, 190 is good," because in my head was, first of all, I didn't realize my highest weight was 293. My surgeon actually mentioned it. He's like, "Wow." He's like, "You're at 20 pounds already, you're saying." And I thought, "What is he talking about?" I What? And he's like, "Your highest weight here in the office." And I would think when I weighed myself, I never, like, really looked. I was just like, "Gonna stand here, ignore it." And then so he was like, "It was 293." And I'm like, "Whoa." So in my head, I'm like, okay, 100 pounds would be losing a fifth grader. Just let's take this child off me, your thing. So in my head was like, 100 pounds is a success or thing, but I stopped saying success because just doing this is a success or thing. So, and then I was like, well, God, 190, maybe 180. And this is where my family starts coming in. And then I thought, maybe 75. I think 180 is probably 180, 185 is probably my comfortable. And I'm trying to think when I was cheering, I was probably, because like I said, I have boobs. I've always had boobs since 8th grade. I was a size D. Ninth grade was double D. I have the thick, muscly thighs. I have that's the place to I don't teeter on that. But I've always been like this thicker girl, muscly. So I'm thinking like trying to think of what is my weight you're seeing? My husband's like, you're comparing yourself to your high school you. Like your high school you wasn't a woman. And I'm like, well, like, technically I was. And so he's like, don't compare numbers. So I think you like 180, 185 is kind of my,
Okay, well, I'm just curious so that way when we check back with you in
yeah,
3 months, we'll see
yeah,
where you're
where
at,
it goes.
and then, like, how that number shifts as far as
Yeah,
once you start losing weight, you're getting more positive, you're loving yourself more, you have more energy, you're happier, sex is better, you feel better,
right.
and so I'm curious to see where you
If the
go
numbers
and
change. Yeah.
if your numbers change because it's all about loving the skin that we're in and our bodies. So it's not really uh, because I'm 4'11", and I mean, I could weigh 98 pounds and
Yes.
that's okay. And I haven't been 98 pounds since I was in elementary school or what, I don't
Yeah.
even remember. So 120s, 130s, I'm okay with that
Yeah.
because I do have a big butt and I do have boobs, and so I just well, I'm okay 120, 130. So I'm just kind of just taking it every day and not really
Yeah.
because it's hard not to get consumed by that scale too. So I try to weigh
Yeah.
myself once a week, more so to be accountable. Like,
Yeah.
you know
Keep
what I
yourself in
mean?
check.
Yeah. So here's another question. I'd like to end the show by asking, what advice do you have for pre-op patient? I know you're early in your post-op, you're a couple weeks out,
Right.
but do you have any advice for somebody who's pre-op or thinking about bariatric surgery or just new post-op and really struggling, or any advice?
My biggest advice here thing is I think counseling. It was an eye opener on to talk about my relationship with food, which almost seems crazy. Like I didn't even do marriage counseling, but it seemed that food was obviously consuming me. I am close to 300 pounds. And if I didn't hit that head on with the counselor and talk about why I'm this way, what's driving me this way, because obviously it's driving you. So to me, you're seeing you might have to talk to somebody. And I know like talking to your girlfriends and stuff, you're seeing, and I'm surrounded by a handful of girlfriends. I don't even think I have a best friend who I've been best friends since sophomore year in high school. And I talked about things with that counselor that she doesn't even know. And then I didn't really realize until she was telling me, like, you are allowing food to drive you. And and so that just gave me an eye opener that just made me an all around, to me, an all around better person. I'm hitting the hard questions. And that's what you have to ask yourself is the hard questions. You have, of course, you have your girlfriends and they're all yes women. They're all gonna be like, girl, you do you and you feel the way you feel. That's not helping at all. I mean, yes, they're good friends. And if you needed them, boom, they'd be there. But damn it, that food is immediately there for you. And if you need to just stop realizing that's such an addiction that you don't want. You might as well say, I'm addicted to porn. I'm addicted to being a nymph. I mean, you might as well say something. I'm addicted to drugs because you are. You're using that food as if it was Coke. And man, that was a huge like, ew, how dare you call me addicted? And then I thought after I left, wow, that's crazy. So getting your mind completely right prior to, because if not, you'll fall back into it. You'll fall back. Of course, my mind still wanders. I see food commercials and I'm like, oh, that looks good. Oh, when I'm healthy, I'll totally try that. Oh, what? And then I had to stop myself and give myself a check, like, girl, no, you already had that chicken sandwich. And look where it got you. That's roll number 3. Like, so you have
Yeah.
to cut yourself. But yeah, going to counseling, it's just, yeah, it's an eye opener. And support group, whatever you can do. You can't. So I know some insurances only covers so much counseling, but that
Yeah.
extra
Well,
a month or something is worth it.
yeah, no matter where you go to go get bariatric surgery, everybody's going to have once a month meetings that are free that you can
Right.
go up and listen to people who want bariatric surgery, people who've had bariatric surgery. You get to listen to the doctors, the nurses, dietitians,
Mhm.
and that's free just
Yeah.
to, if nothing else, have that.
Mhm.
Um, so that's great advice. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you, and I'm
You
excited for
too.
you. I think you're gonna do really, really great, and I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy, and you'll get there. Take it slow. Oh, chew your food. It's so hard. We, as I think overweight people in general, we just inhale our food. We don't taste it.
Yes. Uh-uh.
So chew your food because it's gonna cause other issues like foamies or throwing up or
Yeah.
dumping. You don't
Yeah.
stay away from high fats, high sugars, so you don't dump. Take your time, take it every day at a time, and forgive yourself. If
Right.
you make a mistake, we all do. So don't over stress about, "Hey, I messed up today," because
Yeah.
you'll have those moments. We all do. And so, but you're doing great, and
Thank you.
I will talk to you soon.
Perfect.
And thank you so much. All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Des.
Bye.